Assistant Commissioner Vignola. Chief?
In addition to our normal schedule this evening, I would be requesting to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters and to conduct interviews of potential police officer candidates after I go through the normal agenda. Just looking at our agenda this evening, in communications, I did forward the commission a press release on May 12th in regards to an internal matter. Any discussion? Okay. In regards to new business, I do have, or I did forward the commission the April minutes of the commission meeting for your review. Any discussion on the minutes from the April meeting? Being noticed. Oh.
The increases that we're seeing are mostly related to larcenies, is that what you're saying?
So yes, that's in the statistics.
It's in the
Yeah,
statistics
yep, in
part,
part
yes.
1, yep.
Okay.
That's part 1. Yeah, but if you look, I'll get into that in a second. So in regards to the April minutes of the April commission meeting, if there's no discussion, if I could have a motion to accept them. I have a motion by Commissioner Mills, second by Mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Additionally, I have forwarded the commission the minutes from the May special meeting for your review. Would the commission like to discuss the minutes from the special meeting, which was held on May 11th?
No.
Could I have a motion to accept those minutes as?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
I appreciate that. Statistics for the month of April. Being that we are almost through May, so these are about a month behind. In the month of April, the department handled 3,042 calls for service, which was a 12% increase from the previous month, in which we handled 2,721 calls. Our Part 1 crimes for the month, there were 96 Part 1 crimes. Out of that, 19 of them fell in the violent category, 77 of them in the property category. 70 of those 77 property crimes are larceny related, are car larcenies from stores, larcenies from homes. So that still is the driving numbers in our violent crime, or in our Part 1 crimes. In March, we had 67 Part 1 crimes, so we saw a significant increase from March to April there. Our Part 2 crimes for the month of April, 104 versus 91 in March. Arrests. So we're also seeing an increase in arrests, which shows some productivity and some investigative results. In the month of April, the department made 264 arrests, which was a 27% increase over the previous month of 208. We also stepped up the traffic enforcement, as we've been speaking of. In the month of April, the department issued 648 traffic summons, which is a 64% increase over March of 396. Parking summons for the month of April, was 285 issued, 52% decrease over March. Now without the overnight parking, we're going to see those numbers come down until December again. And then uses of force for the month of April, the department had 6 incidents that resulted in uses of force, which equates to 2.27% of total arrests. Would you like to discuss the statistics in more detail?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Chief, is the messaging that apparently we're trying to get out about people locking their cars, even when they're home, doesn't seem to be getting out there? Is there something more we can do, like in some kind of public relations campaign of trying to convince people to lock your cars? 70, you said 70 out of 77 were larcenies?
Larceny, and out of that, a
Majority
good
were
chunk of them
cars.
are car larceny.
Yeah. I know Vincent Drive just got hit last week, and a few other neighborhoods. It seems like when they target a neighborhood, they just go in and it's only 1 or 2 people, from what I understand.
Any car that's unlocked.
Any
right?
car that's unlocked,
Saying
right,
yes.
right. So I don't know if we need to do a better job of getting the message out. It's like your seat belts and those things. So is there a campaign like the State Police Chiefs Association has?
We'll do something internally. We start
okay.
using some social media and working that, put some information out into the communities. We are, like the lieutenant, Midnights is working actively on this. He keeps a map. He keeps the officers moving. What we're finding is it's sporadic. It'll hit one section and maybe another section a day or two later, or 3 days later. We are getting some video from some of the homeowners. Unfortunately, we have not received any video that has a good identification of anybody. Previously this year, we've made some arrests in the car larcenies, which we were hoping that was going to quell some of it, but it doesn't seem to have done that. So it is definitely something that we are definitely concerned with, and it is a challenge. But Mayor, I like your idea, and I will put that into motion to get some awareness out there to the public.
Okay.
Commissioners, any other discussion on the monthly statistics? Recently, the Common Council has adopted a new local law in regards to cannabis sales. The city has opted out of any type of cannabis dispensaries and places to utilize it. So to help us enforce some of the issues that we're seeing with the sales of cannabis in some of our local delis, convenience stores, gas stations, and whatnot, the city has just drafted and adopted a law that allows us, using the zoning codes, to enforce this, being that no one in the city of Middletown should be selling marijuana or cannabis products legally, because there are no licenses. It's not allowed. So just recently this week, because that got passed last week at the council meeting, I had my neighborhood officers go to many of the convenience stores and give them a copy of the new law and advise them as to what they are not allowed to do. I believe they should have known that anyway, but we are trying to do our due diligence, and then we'll do some follow-up to make sure there's some compliance. In regards to staffing, currently we have 6 vacancies. Thank you to the mayor, the council, the board of estimates, the commission for supporting the addition of 3 new police officers, which will bring our sworn staff from 72 up to 75. So with that new addition of 3 officers, we currently have 6 vacancies. Out of the 69 sworn staff that I have on the books right now, 1 is on disability, 1 is on a modified assignment due to a pregnancy, and 1 is currently suspended. Additionally, in staffing levels, I have 2 full-time vacant dispatcher positions that we're waiting on the results of the exam that was given earlier this year to come out so that we could pursue filling those positions. The next police academy is scheduled to begin on July 10th, and the commission will be interviewing some potential candidates this evening that may be attending that July 10th if they're successful. I'm still operating the crime suppression unit. I still have Officer Quellas and Sullivan in that unit, and I'm still running the traffic unit with Officer Ortiz. Those officers seem to be doing a very good job in those respective assignments. Any discussion, questions, concerns in regards to staffing?
Are we on a new list yet, or we're still on the old?
Nope, we are on a new list, so the candidates that will be presented to you this evening are either 90s or 95s, and I'm able to pull from the 95s and 90s currently right now. The results of this exam came out this past late fall, winter. The exam was given last April, so we're still in the very, very top of the list. Any other questions in regards to staffing? In regards to training, since our last meeting, I'll just go through the trainings that members of the department did attend. The Empire State Law Enforcement Traffic Safety Conference, drone training, ghost gun investigations training, finding the leader in you training. I have Sergeant Welch at the Fearless Conference right now, RAD training, and that was it for the previous month. Just to touch on some grants that we're working on, I believe I touched on them last month, but just to show that we are working on securing additional funds from other sources to help, grow the department and the community. We currently are operating on a youth grant that we received $21,000 from the county. We're working with a vendor on a $450,000 technology grant that was awarded to us from Assemblywoman Gunther's office and is being supplemented by the bid district. We have 2 grants from the New York State Governor's Office, one for $17,500 and one for $57,500. We're also working on a $300,000 grant. It's a technology grant from Senator Schumer. And we are the recipient of GIVE grant, which is a gun initiative violence program put out by the state. And our minimum distribution in this grant is going to be $100,000. With that $100,000, we'll be putting additional patrols on and focus on micro hotspot policing to address our pockets of crime based on current statistics. In the past, we've been a recipient of this grant for many years. We've been receiving for about the last 15 years, only about $15,000. So we saw a significant increase this year. With the previous funding of $15,000, we were able to cover about 9 different weekend patrols with it. With this $100,000 allotment, we were going to cover about 48 different weekends of additional patrols. With that, we'll also be partnering with the Sheriff's Department to do some of those patrols, which will be an added bonus of having additional resources on the street. Any discussion, questions, concerns with the grants?
Previous grants from Senator Skoufis and Assemblywoman Guthrie regarding the mental health part-time,
Yes.
is that in operation now?
It is not. We're still going through the process with the money. It actually came through Senator Skoufis's office. He was able to split it under 2 different venues. We are going through that. Lieutenant Dolan has been working on setting that all up. Once it's all set up and established, we'll be coming to the council for a resolution to open a line, and then we'd be looking to hire the person.
'Cause I spoke with him yesterday. He gave me a call and told me that he's able to get another year's worth of funding,
That'd be fantastic.
75,000. So I'm sure they'll be contacting your office soon
That'd be
with that.
fantastic.
But I thought we ended up getting something from Gunther too in that.
So I submitted the same project to Assemblywoman Gunther's office, and they are trying to do the same thing. They give us some funding to keep the program going.
Okay. And our plan is part-time, our half-day.
No, the plan would be to hire someone full-time.
Full-time,
It was a $75,000 grant that would give us enough money to hire someone and cover the benefits. But it would be, under the premise that it is a granted funded project, that there's no longevity attached to it at this time.
Okay.
But we'll continue to,
Is it better to hire or is it better maybe to contract with somebody? Or
I personally like the idea of having someone work for us rather than have someone assigned from another organization in our building.
all right,
I think we have a better control over that, and we're able to provide them additional resources and direction without too many layers of supervisory and rules and regulations. We control that.
okay, especially if we get the additional year's funding. But
Yes,
you might want to follow up with Christy Foster.
I will.
Yeah.
absolutely. So that's what the mayor's referencing is we started this project a couple of years ago, and we got Senator Skoufis's office to adopt it for us, to hire a service coordinator, which would be a member of the police department, a civilian member that would help us do follow-up with victims, people that need different services, be the conduit from our residents in the community to the various services that are afforded throughout the community. Someone that could work. We do it now with someone from Fearless, the domestic violence program. They do it specifically for domestic violence, but this person would be all-inclusive of all resources, whether it's job placement, maybe it's trouble with a child, medical conditions, housing, whatever it would be. There's resources out there, and it's just trying to weed through some of the red tape to get to them. And I believe having someone that has that conduit would be a benefit to not just us, but to the community as a whole. Community events, we are still running our leadership program. That commenced on March 21st, ending May 30th. We plan on a graduation for this class on June 5th at 5:00 p.m. So if anyone from the commission would like to attend, should be right here in this chambers. Again, June 5th, 5:00 p.m. for the leadership program. Great program. Sergeant Welch does an outstanding job. And you could definitely see the relationships that are being fostered there, not just personally amongst the attendees, but with Sergeant Welch and the other staff that work in that. They call her with information, they give her information, they confide in her, and it's been a great, great program. She does an amazing job, like I said. We are still working on several internal investigations. I do have some that I can forward to the commission in the coming week for your review, and we'll continue working on them. We're still probably backlogged about 40 or so internal investigations for a variety of different reasons. But they will be coming out as they are completed. So this month, when we talk about our updated policies and procedures on our agenda for the month of May, were the Lexipol Policies Chapter 5 In traffic operations would be policy 500 through 505, chapter 6, investigative operations, policy 600 through 609, chapter 7, equipment, policy 700 through 705, chapter 8, support services, policy 800 through 807, and chapter 9, custody, policy 900 through 903. Has the commission had the opportunity to review them, and would the commission like to discuss them in any form or fashion? Any?
No discussion from me.
Commissioner Rodriguez? Being no discussion, would the commission be willing to move to adopt these policies as written?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Commissioner Rodriguez, second by Commissioner Sullivan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Appreciate that. I believe we have one more block of policies to go. So for the June meeting, we'd be looking to have reviewed all of Chapter 10 in the personnel policies, which would be policies 1,000 through 1,035. Other than matters that need to be discussed in executive session, I have nothing else on the agenda this evening unless the commission has anything they would like to discuss or talk about.
What time are the interviews coming in, Chief?
The first one is scheduled for 5 p.m.
Okay. All right, because the second part is, in my email to the commission that for the disciplinary hearing, I need to recuse myself. So if we can do the interviews first,
Yes.
then I can recuse myself from the reason for recusal is I know the victim's family, and also the incident happened in my wife's restaurant. So on the advice of counsel, I sent an email to the board today and to the city attorney that I would not be able to participate in the disciplinary matter. So there's going to be a discussion today, I think, regarding appointment of a hearing officer. We had two people express an interest, and you'll discuss that in executive session. I won't be part of that discussion.
Does the commission have anything else they would like to discuss in the open forum? Nothing? We have an audience today. We have 4 members joining us today from the community. Would anybody from the audience like to address the commission?
Okay.
Okay.
Motion to go in executive session?
A motion by Commissioner Rodriguez. Do I have a second? So, all in favor?
Aye.
So we will be moving into executive session to discuss personnel matters at 4:52 p.m.
Please be advised this ends the public portion of today's meeting. Thank you.